Okay, so we're all here to discuss the death penalty. Obviously, you're either voting for or against, and basically we are the future of Britain, so it could all change in this room today, really. So, basically, those who are for the death penalty, is there anyone with a really strong view why you are for it?
I've discussed this topic many times in ethics lessons. I do believe that the death penalty should not be incorporated maybe for a lot of crimes, but more specifically just for situations such as murder. Maybe branching over to manslaughter in some situations. It's mainly due to the fact that if you look at the psychological side of criminals, murderers have something in their brains which will tend to make them commit the crime again, whereas something such as petty thief, they could probably get away with it and not be urged to do it again. So maybe you could think of it in that way, in which the psychopaths who murder a lot should be stopped, whatever it costs.
Thank you, Professor.
Is there any response from the against side to that argument?
Has anyone seen my daughter?
Right, cut that.
Excellent argument.
All in favour of Miss Gardner?
Are we going to be cutting that bit from the recording?
Probably.
That's a bit more
Nick, can I just make sure I'm on camera?
No, I'm in the way.
Nick, back up a little bit. Oh, your face is like right up there.
Right.
Now we definitely can't see you. Oh.
I'm on camera now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you're on camera now.
Ooh, I'm right in the middle. Hello. Hello, future Nick.
If this gets on YouTube, this is going in the bloopers, so...
Hello, future YouTube.
I'll just...
Okay,
So, yeah, is there anyone from the against side who disagrees with Ben's argument there?
I understand your point about the mentality of murderers and how they will tend to commit again, but don't you think it's ethically the responsibility of the country or the legal system that is dealing with them to make provisions to ensure that they are not put in a situation where they can commit again, and that it's wrong to effectively murder someone for murder?
I see where you're coming from. It's all based upon the Bible prison, an eye for an eye. Whereas I have split views on it, I guess you could say. I mean, you look at it, and like I said, it is sort of in the brain. I see where you're coming from. You wouldn't kill someone just because of how they act. But in some situations where it could become dangerous and too expensive to keep them alive. I mean, I know in certain countries, I think it's Greenland, where they have a system where they have a false society in which they release the prisoners in afterwards, so they're still in prison, yet they feel like they're free. Maybe that would be an idea, but then, as I said, it gets close up the prisons. So maybe a humane way of putting them out of this misery of constantly wanting to murder could be the safer option.
But then them coming in and out of prison, would that get very expensive for our government, because we don't have that much money?
No, we're in recession already.
Our justice system screwed up.
Okay, as most of you know, I did do a survey about what the death penalty should be brought back for, and most people voted that it should be brought back for murder, and the others being manslaughter and involuntary manslaughter, but many people said that, or more people voted that people should be executed for paedophilia than rape.
I think
These are rapists.
it's a very dangerous accusation to say there, because if you look at it, paedophilia is essentially the same, when you put it down to the basics, as homosexuality. It's something in the brain that attracts you to someone else. So are we then to say that Catholics can then murder homosexuals because they don't believe they're right?
But are we talking about the mentality of paedophilia or the action?
That's the
being
difference. I mean,
paedophile?
Roman Catholics accept homosexuals and say they should be respected in society, yet as soon as they commit the act of a gay relationship, they become sinners in the eyes of God.
Okay, so how about forms of execution? What do we think there? Because most people would say that lethal injection is probably the most humane way of killing someone.
No. I totally agree. Lethal injection is expensive. It can be scary for the person that's being executed. They might not like it. They might be scared of needles.
Jack, you're on the
You're
wrong
scared.
side. You're on the wrong side of the down.
I'm just saying.
Scared of needles.
I'm saying that hanging should be brought back purely because
It's cheap.
it is a tradition of our nation. This empire was built on hanging.
I hope not solely on
Like you broke your neck
and
as soon as you
cranes and
Yeah, and it was quick.
It was a quick death. It was
Sometimes.
breaking your neck.
Yeah, no, sometimes.
See,
I mean, it was tradition on a Sunday.
I have an alternative.
It was
Guilt of brilliant.
tradition on a Sunday that the townsfolk would go and watch public hanging.
And the children would love it. And
Yeah.
have ice
It was
creams.
good old-fashioned fun.
I mean, it was good. I
Okay,
wouldn't mind
but
to see that.
in all seriousness, is it fair to say that we should hang people when we have the infrastructure and the knowledge now to kill someone effectively painlessly?
And quicker.
Well, when you get home,
Yeah, when you
you
start.
get killed at
Because if you say you take the tack of, well, they should be hung or electrocuted to death or drowned or whatever you want to do because it's painful and because it's scary, well then that's vengeance. That's not a judicial punishment.
I don't think that's the point we were actually making. It's meant to scare them. It's just lethal injection. It's quite expensive and it's not instant. But something like hanging, not really beheading. That's a bit extreme. But it's quick. It just breaks a neck.
Yeah, but it has to wait before it.
It
which is
depends
the worst
what
part.
point of view you have as well. If you are a relative of a victim, then you are going to want vengeance on the
I'm
person
gonna want
who's done it.
retribution.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of
the
the elements of our alternative.
yeah. And if you say you're an outsider and you just think you think it's wrong, then maybe it should be different.
I kind of disagree, sorry Jack, with what you said about committing it so they feel scared. Because the idea of our justice system is that we punish the person, but the punishment for them would be death. It's additional punishment of the pain that could be considered inhumane.
It leads in with how you deal with problem animals. You lethally inject them with whatever that kills them. You don't cause them unnecessary pain. You just put them out of their misery, and that should extend over to humanity. Really, it should be how you deal with problem animals. You don't smash it over the head with a skull repeatedly. You just inject it, and it removes the problem animal. It removes the danger or whatever you consider a threat to society. If a dog maims 4 children or something, that they're just lethally injected, and that's in the end of it. It should extend in that sense.
But something about the death penalty in general is that lots of people are discovered to be actually innocent after like 20 years. So with the death penalty, you are killing someone sometimes, not all the time, who didn't commit a crime. And that was one of the really big flaws about